And welcome to this great show, the Super Citizen Newspaper Review on Citizen 93.7 FM Abuja. My name is Lawrence Omoite. And today promises to be a very interesting show because we have additional personality. It's not a new person, it's not a fresh voice. It's always been here, but it took, maybe we'll call it a sabbatical, and he's back. We will unveil him when the time comes. And straight to the headlines. We quickly run through the headlines before coming down to look at some of the stories in details. We start off with the Punch newspaper. Banks bad loans spike after CBN's withdraws forbearance. Okay, UMC resolves 13-year crisis at Taraba conference. And group begs Governor Sule to revive dilapidated Nasarawa hospitals. Manufacturing tipped for 3.1% growth, 10.2% GDP contribution. And Lagos Plaza fire. Lasema compiles names of missing persons. That's a sad story. New Year's Eve fire destroys 24 electronic shops in Lagos. And to some politics, Wike Bauchi governor lock horns over terrorism financing claims. And from Abuja to Oyo State, Bodija, 30 billion remains unused. Makinde tells Fayose. Anthony Joshua's driver detained over Lagos-Ibadan expressway crash. And Akpabio withdraws all defamation suits after praised sermons. ADC faction rejects Obi, disowns Enugu registration. All right, we move on to the Vanguard newspaper now. 2026, Atiku, Obi, Khan, PDP, ACF, others chart way forward for Nigeria. And has to clarify alleged discrepancies in Gazetted Tax Act. Kanu, Ekpa's imprisonment improved Southeast Nigeria security. That's coming from the Nigerian Army. And from Vanguard, we move on to the Cable newspaper. Otedola comments Tinubu's deep economic understanding as First Bank meets 500 billion naira requirement. And Patu Temi saying, I'll walk away if Obi becomes a vice presidential candidate in 2027. Walk away to where? From where? Okay, we will look at that story. Fayose Makinde is still on. Makinde must refund 30 billion naira explosion relief fund with interest. That's from Fayose. And police suspend enforcement of tinted glass permits policy over court order. I'm sure we've not heard the last of this. Akpabio asks his lawyers to withdraw defamation suits against Natasha Bote. And Kemi Adeosun, powerful enemies saw NYSC certificate saga as opportunity to force me out of office. And we move on to the Nation newspaper now. Federal lawmakers unveil tax laws. And Wike Bala in war of words. Fubara's friends, secondos, Omeya, others regroup, vows to back Tinubu's re-election bid. And Mba promises accelerated consolidation. Federal government's 30 billion naira cash for Bodija explosion victims intact, says Oyo governor. And again, police suspend enforcement of vehicle tinted glass permit. We move on to the Sun newspaper now. Some politics here. PDP's bleeding. PDP's bleeding continues as Plateau governor joins APC. And troops rescue 5 kidnapped victims in Kogi Forest, recover bodies. A New Year's Eve accident, police confirm death of 2 villagers in Ebonyi State. And Governor Abiodun grants clemency to 71 inmates. This day newspaper is next now. Nigeria ready, equipped for AFC FCTA market list milestones. That's from the federal government. And FG unveils 2026 economic growth agenda set to prioritize jobs and investment. Mufwang signs 2 key bills into law, sets new fiscal framework for Plateau State. I will move on to the Guardian newspaper now. Anthony Joshua's driver may appear in court tomorrow. And Tinubu's 2025 marked by abuse of power, deepening hardship. That's from the former presidential candidate of the SDP, Adewale Adebayo. Labour Party's best alternative, says Abure in New Year's message. And National Assembly to release certified tax bills amid gazetted discrepancy claims. And 2026, a year to test policies, reshape politics, measure performance. And all right, we move on to the Tribune newspaper now. And Tinubu breaks silence on joint military operations with the United States. Oyedele to Nigerians, no automatic bank debits under new tax laws. All right, we move on to Daily Trust. APC states near 30. Okay, that's from Daily Trust. 128 journalists killed nationwide. 128 journalists killed worldwide in 2025. Okay, I'm sure we'll look at that story too. Jigawa destroys 5,520 cartons of expired noodles. An appeal court opposed death sentence of Anifire's killers. All right, New Telegraph is next now. Obi calls for unity and truth. Bala Muhammad accuses Wike of threatening Bauchi's peace. National Assembly releases transmitted controversial tax bills. And Tinubu Lords Bala Usman at 50, says decades in service offer. All right, before we take a break, let's quickly look at penpushing.com now. And the list story here, pen pushing member Abimbola Oyeyemi promoted chief superintendent of police. We say congratulations to pen pushing there. And illustrated firecracker causes fire outbreak in a restaurant in Abuja. Sad story there. Ghastly auto crash, police arrest Anthony Joshua's driver. And police suspend tinted glass permits enforcement. And Governor Abiodun grants clemency to 71 inmates. And still on pen pushing, Governor Abiodun signs of 69 trillion naira 2026 budget into law. All right, we'll take a short break and we'll return for the second half of this show. It's still Super Citizen Newspaper Review on Citizen 93.7 FM Abuja. Please don't go away. We will be back in a moment.
Wake up. Reach out. Speak up. Speak out. You are the voice of a new generation. And this
is your station.
Talk Radio 93.7 Citizen FM.
All right, thank you so much for staying tuned. It's still Super Citizen Newspaper Review on Citizen 93.7 FM Abuja. And this is the second half of the show. This is where we look at some of the stories in details. And this is also where we open the phone lines. You can join the conversation 0903 2229797. That's 0903 2229797. You can also call us on 0818 222205. And you that number again, 0818 222205. Yes, I told you earlier that we have a friend, a colleague, senior colleague, at least for me, in the studio here. His name is Kazeem Akinreti. He's a PhD holder. That's Dr. Kazeem Akinreti. He's the head digital media voice of Nigeria. Welcome to Newspaper Review, Dr. Akinreti.
Thank you so much.
Quite a while.
Very well.
All right, Dr. Akinreti is also a former chairman of the Nigerian Union of Journalists, Lagos State Council. And so when it comes to media space, is not a stranger at all. Once again, it's great to have you on the show, Dr. Akinreti.
Thank you so much.
And we have our Chief Operating Officer also in the studio, Mr. Salmon Salami.
Thank you very much. Good morning, Super Citizen listeners.
Yes, Mr. Salami is also a veteran of the industry, over 40 years in this industry. So you can see, if we are to combine the years of experience of the two gentlemen in the studio, I'm sure you will know that, yes, we have what it takes to look at the newspapers this morning. So straight off, we start from where do we start? And maybe we start from the Vanguard newspaper, where we have the story. Since the story broke about 2 days ago, the registration of Peter Obi as formally registering as a member of the ADC. There's been a lot of activities in the media space. So this is the story. 2026, Atiku, Obi, CAN, PDP, ACF, MBF, and others chart way forward to make 2026 more meaningful for Nigerians. Former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, Peter Obi, and the rest of them have taxed governments on good governance. They also want the federal government to fight insecurity, corruption, and that reforms alleviate poverty and improve the fortunes of the citizens. In a New Year message, Atiku Abubakar said, for millions of long-suffering Nigerians, the only consolidation is that 2025 history has come to an end. And all. Let me start with Dr. Akinreti.
Well, good morning, listeners. I think it's quite refreshing that finally Peter Obi has made up his mind to join the ADC train. But honestly, it's the same and the same. It's old bottle in old wine. But what is quite surprising is the fact that there have been a lot of denials from Peter Obi himself that he's not going to join the ADC. Although he said he's part of the coalition. And so one challenge that I think he's going to have has to do with the trust deficit. That is this someone that can keep it to his words? That's for him to actually manage. But the reality is that he's going to rev the activity within the ADC. That's the reality. And the other thing that I think he also needs to be wary of is the fact that you cannot give conditions immediately. Like some of his part of his obedience followers have been saying, if we don't get this, then we are out of it. We are this one, that. I think that could also cause a lot of combustion within the ADC. The reality on ground that it's going to be a battle royale to get the presidential ticket of ADC. Of course, we all know that Atiku Abubakar, former president, is still waxing stronger and is not relenting on his vows to get the top job. You also know Rotimi Amechi says, I'm not going to be a vice president to anyone. And so, if I'm going to look within the context of South continuum, the next 4 years, then it's going to be between Amechi
And Obi.
and Obi. And so Amechi is, you can know him for what he is. If he sticks to his gun, he's going to go for it. And so the line of the realignment within ADC is going to be a battle royale. And if they are not careful, that could eventually, just change the tide for them, or either positively or negatively. But with what I'm seeing, I haven't seen, it's personal to me anyway, any strong person that can really confront APC or the current president of Nigeria in that election. That is going to be a serious battle. And I see him, winning that election. From up, you can see there are so many challenges. Look, when it comes to real politicking and the real strategy, all those guys knows who Bola Tinubu is. When he gets to the top, he get it done. He get the job done. And so that will be at the back of their mind, that they have someone they're really going to wrestle with at the end of the day. So for ADC, well, it's not yet Uhuru. That's my own comment.
All right, Mr. Salami.
This is a very fresh perspective that Doctor is bringing into analysis. But the first issue is this. The coming into APC of ADC of Peter former Governor Peter Obi. Well, Obi has a pedigree. He was in APGA. He left APGA for PDP. He came back to PDP. Then he went to Labour, and today he's in ADC. Yes, it is right, but he speaks volume about his politics and his reliability, quote and unquote. And just as Dr. Reggie said, that his social media warriors are also up and doing. They have been telling us that unless he gets the presidential ticket, they will leave the party. And of course, former Governor Rotimi Amechi too has presidential ambition, and he too is a strong member of ADC. So the die is cast, and of course, chances are that the ADC will not zone his presidential ticket. Chances are that they might
throw it open.
And of course, the special SUV, special utility vehicle called the ADC, we all know, is put together by inimitable former vice president. And of course, it's not a Father Christmas. Chances are again that there might be a primary. The primary chances are again that will be contested. It will be between these three musketeers. And look, don't let us deceive ourselves. Head or tail, Atiku will get the ticket.
All right, maybe it's too early for us to make that call, especially as we are not members of the ADC. But in politics, you never say never. But for me, Doctor and Ms. Salami, when I see leaders speak during festive period, maybe like Christmas or even the New Year now, everybody's coming out to say stuff to Nigerians. People are always calling on government to do this and do that. Do our leaders, and now I'm talking generally, not any particular set of people, I'm talking about people who have had the privilege of holding positions in government or serving the public in whatever capacity over the years. Do they step back to do some retrospection and say, oh, in 2026, as a group, we are going to be more truthful, we are going to be more forthright in dealing with the public, we are going to be more open if given opportunities. It's not always government needs to do this, government needs to do that. What are you doing? What are you doing as a group to enhance the the fate of Nigerians. So, if you're a political party, any political party for that matter, you call on government to do this and do this. Do you also tell your people that as a political party, we are going to obey our laws henceforth? We are going to make sure that during primaries, we don't impose candidates. We are going to make sure that during election, we don't take part in buying votes and stuff like that.
Well, the reality of politics is about self-interest. Well, where we borrowed the idea of democracy from Western world, it's not really about self-interest, it's about the people. But it takes a lot, it takes a while before they also get there. Challenges of leadership in the third world countries, more importantly in Nigeria, is the fact that when you want to get in there, you are going to make a lot of promises to the people.
Even the ones you know you will not keep.
Absolutely. But when you get in there, the reality stares you in the face. It's not only in governance alone, even in all, political appointments and some other things that has to do, even in private, in unions. This has always been the reality. So what we're going to meet on ground will tell you that, oh boy, you really doesn't need to buckle up. Because of self-interests, or the people that also surround you. Yeah, you may have a clean heart, you wanted to do this, you want to do that. But you can't do it alone. You still need to carry some people along. And along the line, those who are self-centered among your group or your clique will all keep on drawing you back. But at the end of the day, you are the one that is going to be accountable to the people. And that's why you also need to step back and say, yes, I must take some bold initiative and get to the people and let people feel my impact. So the reality again is on the people. If the people also understand that, yes, this is what we need to do. This is what we need to take. This is how we need to go about this. This is how we need to go about that. That again is a different ballgame altogether in this enclave. You see, our old traditional leadership structure is the one that really people say is more accountable than even democracy that we have.
Western democracy.
The reality is the reality we take because people know your house, they know your family, they know everything, and you're going to think about, oh, I'm going back to my people. I'm going to live among them. So you're going to do certain things from a different perspective. But with Western democracies that glamorizes political offices and make it much more,
detached from
the people. While you separate for them where they are going to live, you take them away from where they are, you give them perks of offices. So they are just aloof about the reality of the people. And it's only once in a while when they're able to encounter the people, they say, oh, wow, so this is going on. So what am I really going to do? If you travel across the length and breadth of this country by road, you will appreciate the huge challenges of what people are going through. But the reality is, those public office holders are flying. Not all of them are traveling by road. So there's no way they can have a feel of the realities on the ground. So these are some of the negative aspects of the democracy that we are practicing now. So for me, the people still has the choice at the end of the day to determine who governs them. But when determining who is going to govern them, is going to lead them, they must also understand that, look, it's a long road to travel.
All right. Mr. Salami, you and I, over the course of this program, we've always been talking about what the people ought to do and what is on ground, reality versus idealism at the end of the day. Yes, the people should decide. But when we look at the prevailing poverty in the land and how leaders over the years have weaponized poverty, do you think the people who stand in any state to say, this is what we need? We talk about stomach infrastructure.
You see, the idea of democracy, especially the Western form of democracy, is culturally relative. And it comes with certain basic presumptions.
Exactly.
For example, there are some basic irreducible minimum that you must have met before you begin to talk about democracy. In the Western world, it is stupidity if you come to somebody to canvass for vote and all you have to tell him is that you have a cup of rice or a cup of garri, because in fact you dare not do that anyway, because they have met those basic requirements. And two, I've been telling you that of all democracies, the first democracy is the democracy of the belly. Somebody who is hungry, you now come to him to tell him that he should not sell his PVC. He will not only sell his own, he will sell the wife's own, he will sell the children's own. That is to tell you that the Western democracy, as it is practiced there, cannot thrive here. If we must practice it, we must adapt it to suit our peculiar situation. That is one. Two, are our people sincere about their promises to the people? From experience, they are not. And thirdly, a friend of ours who was a minister of information told us that government is vast.
Very vast.
Very vast. There are some information that is not available even to the people. Just like Dr. Akinroti said that when you get there is when you know that
certain things.
Water don't pass garri. When Bola Ige, former Attorney General, first got to government and he was given the Ministry of Power, he told Nigerians that he will fix the thing in
6 months.
In 6 months. When he, it was when he got there that he saw that no. Kaki no be leather, as people always say. What am I saying? There are quite some information that might not be available to you while you are outside. Ask our brother Comrade Adams Oshiomhole. When he was a Labour leader, it was a no go gree. Is he not green today? Let me leave it at that.
All right. You can join the conversation. The phone lines are open. Please don't flash. I can see people try to flash. Just call or you send a WhatsApp message. 0903-2229-797 or 0818-2222-205. Gentlemen, let's leave politics for a bit. We'll still come back to it. Let's look at the story. When it broke, Mr. Salami, a few days ago, in fact, it received international attention because of the personality involved. I'm talking about Anthony Joshua and the car crash in Lagos Bekuta or Lagos Ibadan Expressway. Now, there's this story. Anthony Joshua's driver may appear in court tomorrow. The last may not have been heard. Anthony Joshua's auto crash afterwards filtered in from Bekuta, Ogun State, that the ill-fated driver Kayode Adeni might appear in court on Friday. That's today. The officer from Ogun State Police Command who pleaded anonymity revealed that Adeni is currently being integrated at the police station. He's in stable condition. He faces a 2-count charge of reckless driving and manslaughter after Anthony Joshua survived a fatal car crash in Ogun State, which claims the lives of 2 men traveling with him. Mr. Salami, let's start with you, because I know that day when this accident happened, you said something to this effect.
Didn't I tell you that chances that the driver may be alive? You know, I told you that whenever I'm traveling in public transport, I always love to sit just directly behind the driver. These people are, quite many of them, they are wicked. Instead of them to try to rescue, in fact, anyway, you know, self-preservation. When it comes to that, self-interest is not selfishness. That is what they will do. And is it the hand of God or the reckless of men? Why is it that most times when you have accident, the driver sort of always survive? Lawrence, it's a very sad story, and people are grieving. And there is the need for me to be circumspect and to feel their grief, to share in their grief. It's unfortunate that friends of the international boxer lost their lives. I even understand that this is not the first time they will come to Nigeria with their friend. It's a really sad one. But I've been telling you that the fault is not in our stars, but in ourselves. The driver was patently reckless. Lawrence.
At least from the report of the
road safety. And I've been telling myself that may God not make me a victim of another man's stupidity or recklessness. See what the unintended consequence of this stupid man's recklessness. He has sort of dispatched two innocent, promising men to the world beyond. Whatever we say now, we are just running commentary. Those people are gone. They are gone forever. May their souls rest in perfect peace.
Dr. Kennedy, you know, our society, we are mostly sentimental people. I've seen comments in the social media saying, they should leave the poor driver alone, they should let him go. If it was Joshua that was driving that vehicle and that accident happened, will he be interrogated and stuff like that? I always believe that as painful as situations are, there is need for someone to always face consequences of his action, no matter how emotional we are about situations.
Yeah, you see, the reality of life is that when you are too emotional, there's so many things you are going to lose. And that also leads us to so many things, in our daily lives. And even about how we also run the government and the institutions that the government has already set up. Now, this driver, on that day of the incident, I told the correspondent that, look, go to the Federal Road Safety Commission and the police and get to find out what really happened and take your story. That's a new spec. And that's exactly what we did. And then look at the crash. Look at the vehicle. You find that the driver successfully takes care of himself and decided to headlong face that the lorry the truck that was parked right there, right on his right hand side, where you have the occupants in the front seat, the occupants in the back seat. And look at that crash, how it happened. Anthony Joshua survived because he sat at the back directly behind the driver. Because I had to look at the footages very well when we are going to put out the story. That's what I was actually interested in. Again, if you say the driver is reckless, absolutely recklessness that he displayed. Because he veered off he wanted to overtake from the right. The truck broke down. Ordinarily, that's another different ballgame. Stationary right there. But he was trying to maneuver. And because you are even driving a celebrity.
And apart from that,
you have an escort.
You didn't even have a clear view.
Of what happened.
Yes.
And you decided now to overtake from your right, which was wrong.
In fact,
you must overtake
that's the first thing they teach you in driving school.
First thing in driving, but because we have left some of these basics of driving, so people can plead, and talk about, talk out of emotion. I know for sure that the police or the FBI will not let go. Because it might do one thing, serve a deterrent to others. That keep within the limits of the law, within the limits of safe driving. Absolutely, what costs you? You're already in Makun, you are coming from Shagamu, you almost is thrown away to Lagos. And if you imagine that the reckless speed you have been taking right on. But ordinarily, if you just want to overtake from the left, from the right, with a minimal speed, chances are, because it is a necessarily well-built, a very rugged Jeep, the impact wouldn't have been so much than what we had before. But because of the speed, high speed that it was coming up, it was extremely right off from the right-hand side. And so that has been the account of the Federal Road Safety Commission and Nigerian Police. And this case is about the state and the driver. People must understand this.
Exactly.
You must understand the principles of law and how things work. It's also about emotion. Law has nothing to do with emotions. Law is about what is right and what is wrong. For me, if he has his days in court, he'll be able to explain himself. And if he's going to plead an allocutor at the end of the day, so be it.
Exactly, and this is also to a lot of us who are chauffeur driven. Sometimes we also need to keep an eye on our drivers and always hold them on a tight leash all the time, because when issues happen, just like Mr. Salami says, chances are that the driver may survive and you may not. So it's always good to keep an eye on the driver and say, no, you can't go beyond the speed limit for whatever reason. And if your driver knows that you don't take that, chances are he's going to adjust naturally. You know, even if you don't say anything, once he knows that, because I remember when the former governor of Lagos State and the senior advocate of Nigeria, yes, Fashola was governor. Everyone knew that Fashola his convoy will always obey traffic lights. Even when it comes to Abuja. So naturally, after a while, everyone on the convoy will know naturally that when you get to traffic light, you will have to stop, without the governor saying that. So sometimes it's also the mindset. Your driver looks at your body language. If you encourage him, you are late to catch your flight at the airport, and you jump into a car and you tell your driver, let's make it, let's go. The chances are that the driver will be encouraged. But when he knows that Oga doesn't tolerate, once it's 90 or 100, that's the limit. You may end up saving a life.
Lawrence, let me quickly have this. Do you remember that the former president of National Union of Road Transport Worker, that Northerner, died on the way to the airport, and that paved way for Najim Yasin to become it was due to recklessness and overspeeding. And another thing is this: I wouldn't know whether in Abuja now we do not there is another law that don't bother about traffic light. No. You discover that they do not care about the traffic light.
In fact, you are bullied for obeying traffic lights. If you stop and people behind you will honk and shout on you, and you're becoming.
So the road safety, there is a need for the road safety to now do their job properly.
And Mr. Salami, yes, but I think the problem not necessarily the road safety, because let's use this central area, our airport routes. The people that violate, most of them are the so-called big men. And if anything happens, it's just a phone call and the vehicle is released. And after a while, I have a friend who is a member of that, the road safety. They complain, what is the point stopping them? Because before you even get to their office to park the vehicle, there's a phone call that released the vehicle because he's such a big man. He was going to catch his flight. He wants to travel abroad. And so I think we need to tell ourselves the truth. We need to reorient ourselves, as in, let us know that it's only a dead man, a living man like Mr. Salami will say, that needs to travel. If you are alive, that's when you will travel. If you are dead, you can't get to the airport at the end of the day. If you must get to the airport, leave on time. Lawrence,
what has happened to the rule of law? You see, because you don't take vehicles call along, you know that quite some of us do. You see, these drivers doing along, they don't even respect the traffic light too. That's just to debunk the fact that what you said, that it's only the big men. Yes, the big men, we know. They hardly care. In fact, the law is not for them as far as they are concerned. They hardly respect traffic regulation. They hardly do that.
Drivers too.
They are terrible.
Gentlemen, the truth of the matter is that when there are no deterrents, the chances are that people will continue to break the laws.
Impunity.
Because when there are, we normally like to quote, in overseas, in abroad and everything. You know that you dare not run traffic lights abroad because nobody is there to say, but the camera is capturing you and they are sending the bill straight to your email. You're going to pay for that. You know that you will not go scot-free. So if people know that the chances of them being punished for breaking these traffic rules is very high, then they are going to obey. Nobody wants to part with this money. Nobody wants to be detained. But what do you get for breaking traffic rule in Nigeria? If you can part with 500 naira or 1,000 naira, you're gone. And that's it. But if you know that your vehicle may be impounded for a while, then you will need to go for. There was a time the road safety used to organize classes for people, and they will start telling you lectures. And when you know that you are going to spend 3 or 4 days in the facility of the road safety, just because you flouted traffic law, you will think twice before you do
and
it.
when you have to go and pay 3,000 in Sokoto, if you are caught in Lagos.
That is part of the thing why I want this tax law to work. There are certain things that you just need to do ordinarily. But as citizens, we just feel that no, why do I need to do that?
Exactly.
Look, Federal Road Safety Corps guys, they have body cam. Let the police wear body cam. Don't run after these guys.
No.
The body cam takes the picture of the vehicle, the driver and everything, the plate number and everything. If you know that the plate number is already registered, all you need to do is just to track the plate number.
That's all.
Simple.
And try this, and then tell the person they should come and pay.
Simple.
And then you also need to do orientation within this with the union, the road unions, about the danger of flouting the law. Start with that. Start with that advocacy. And thereafter you can say, look, after a month, anybody violating these rules, we're not going to. We will just capture you and just send the bill into the via the address that you have and trace you, and that's it.
And gentlemen, people might think, oh, why are they wasting so much time on this? It's a very important issue.
It's about life.
Dr. Akinreti, it's not just to wear body cams.
Yes.
Our agencies, our institutions should be in a position to have data complete. They should be in a position, because what's the point in capturing the plate number and somebody wants to renew his license next year? From Abuja he goes to Lagos and bam, he goes. But if they know that everything is connected nationwide, no matter where you go to in Nigeria, the moment your number comes up, there's a red flag. You've violated a law, this place, this time, the video is there, and people will begin to know that, yes, this is serious.
That's what happened in Lagos. But Lawrence, that's what happened in Lagos. When you're going to renew your papers in Lagos, God helps you. If you think you have committed an offense, a traffic offense somewhere, and you have forgotten, you'll be flagged. And they're going to add that to your bill.
Exactly.
They don't run after anyone.
We wish that
the camera
nationwide.
And then just keep that information for you until the day you are going to renew your papers, and then you are going to pay the fine.
All right, Mr. Ami, wanted to say something.
Yes, you see, the world has passed the age of running after anybody. The world is knowledge-driven and tech-driven. But when we do what we still do, this is the kind of thing you see. And again, it has to do with the mindset, research. These our brothers, you don't take along, like I said.
It's not something to be proud of anyway.
Nobody is saying that Kiri na Sheraton.
No, the difference plenty. All right, gentlemen, let's move on to this story of the Guardian newspaper. I'll start with you, Dr. Akinreti. You alluded to the issue, the tax acts.
Yeah.
4 of them now. They are already in operation. Absolutely. As far as the laws are concerned. The laws were passed by the National Assembly, duly assented to by the President. Now, the controversy surrounding the tampering of the laws and everything on the National Assembly, saying they are going to release certified tax bills amid gazetted discrepancies claimed. Let's listen to this story. As the controversy surrounding the new tax laws deepen, the National Assembly has said it is taking steps to address public concerns over alleged discrepancies in the legislation, pledging to release certified copies of the bill signed by President Bola Tinubu. In a statement, the National Assembly Director of Information said the Assembly had directed the clerk to release the transmitted tax bills. What do you say to this?
Again, You see, I talk about that governance is a serious business. And getting across to people must understand what you are doing and buy into everything that you are doing. I've heard about just these hues and cries about a month ago. And I was discussing with a colleague that, look, the challenge of this tax law has to do a lot with advocacy for people to understand what it's all about. And if care is not taken, there will be resistance because people do not really understand what it's all about. And if care is not taken too, it's going to be a political issue.
It's already begun.
If care is not taken, we're not careful, we won't be able to handle it easily. I can see that this line of thought is actually coming in every now and now. All those who have been running commentaries on that tax law, the point I've been asking them,
have you seen it?
Have you seen the Gazette? Bring the Gazette out. Those areas you say you are disagreeing with, bring them out. Let us see them. Don't forget, once it is passed, it is sentenced to become a law, it will be subject to review through the same process. And so all this, standalone activity of, this is not too good for us, not too that. So for me, as a journalist, as somebody who understands the law, I don't buy into it at all. Again, I'm using this opportunity to call on FRS.
NRS now.
NRS, yeah.
NRS
for them to do more about advocacy publicly. Go to the parks. Use those union guys. I've seen a lot of skits on the advocacy online and the rest. It goes beyond that. Go to the marketplace and explain to the people, this is what all this is all about. It's about you. It's about harmonization of all the tax laws and the benefit of the people. Because the reality is, look, the guy who is at the driver's seat of this economy, of this country, look, I have the opportunity of working in this theater with him when I was a reporter in Lagos. If he believes in something, he goes ahead with it. I remember the same scenario that happens in Lagos. Despite all the hues and cries about all these things, he pushed on. Today, Lagos is better for it. Once he believes in something and is so convinced about it, and he has been using a lot of measures to bring people along with him, he is going to move on. So let us understand what it takes. That the person will have this president, when he gets it right, he moves on. Although he also knows the consequences, but he's going to work assiduously to ensure that he is able to achieve his aim at the end of the day. Look at the economic indices today. Yeah, you can see it's on paper. I tell people, is it not real? The reality is that because it has not percolated and because of the systemic challenges we've had over the years, you can't fix it in a day. And that's the reality. So for the tax law which has come to stay, I've encouraged a lot of people yesterday. I was just finding the new and the tax number. I was just sharing it in how we are going to get your tax number and the rest with my colleagues. That this is a reality, guys. Get onto it. If there are any areas of opportunity, let's push advocacy for a review of one area or the other. That's my take.
Mr. Salam, Dr. Akinrunty was not here when you were talking about this, about the need for effective advocacy. Going down to the grassroots. Exactly. It was as if he was listening, so I'm sure he wasn't. So there's one thing for you to have. It's one thing to have a good law. It's another thing to get the buy-in of the people, which is very important. Because without the buy-in of the citizens, it's really not going to be very easy for that law to work.
Lawrence, we cannot sit down here and be doing the job of NOA and Bobayo's job for him. We may do it, but we will not do it for free. Like I keep on telling you that there is the need to tell the people in the language they understand what the tax act is all, the tax law now is all about. And so there is a need to make people realize and know what the law is all about. And unfortunately for this country, everybody is a tax consultant today. Even those who have not seen a copy of the tax law commenting on it. And of course, politicians have taken advantage. And they are the ones saying that, yes, the implementation date should be extended. But I've been telling you, just like what Dr. Akriti said, that to take a decision, even if it's a wrong decision, is better than not taking any decision at all.
All right, just hold on a little bit, Mr. Sami. We have a caller here. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, sir.
Good morning. Who's on the line, please?
Happy New Year, sir. My name is Abayo, sir.
All right, go ahead, please. Thank you for calling.
On this tax issue, in fact, it's just like what Daddy was saying, not only politicians are taking over it. I was even surprised when I was listening to news this morning. Archbishop of Abuja, that was in Kigama, he was saying that the tax is going to bring poor people. We're going to create more poor people in Nigeria. And it has now. And I was listening to one radio station, I was listening to one tax expert. He was saying that the poor people don't need to be scared about the tax. Which one are you going to believe now? Because, I mean, just when just like what the other than you said, that the NFRA and what they call it, they need to do a lot of sensitization now, seriously. Because going to the church, going to the mosque, going to the community, also need to know much about it. Thank you.
Oh, sorry, I think we lost that. Anyway, the numbers to call 0903 22797. You can also call us on 0818 2222205. Mrs. Salami, just round up.
Do you know that up to today, I don't know why we do not engage in hard-headed thinking and robust dialogue on issues? Must we politicize everything? Most of the political opposition parties are in opposition. Their narrative has always been, this is not in the interest of the common man. Then you ask them, break it down. How and why? They have nothing to say other than to just make it a political issue.
That's because there's also a gap that they are feeling. If from day one, just like Doctor said, we had rolled out the advocacy ahead of even the implementation date, with the information getting to all the quarters, by the time you come with this your narrative, it wouldn't really be as effective.
We have admitted that, Lawrence. We have admitted that there is still much more to be done, and that the issue apparatus of this government is not only weak, it's abysmally so. It is very, very weak. We have told our friends, DG, NOA, we have done all we could to tell our people there too that there is a need for you to go down to the grassroots and speak with the people in the language they understand. Skit. You see, let me tell you this story. When I was doing some jobs for INEC under Professor Morrissey, they brought one man from the US, and they were discussing means of our communication. They said, Twitch now? And at that time, we to Twitch. When they quite many people that I didn't even have. So you see, the thing is this: you must speak and engage with the people in the language they understand. That is one. Then two, Lawrence, there must be consequence. There should be consequence for whatever action or inaction. For example, the so-called gazetted version and the one signed by Mr. President. Is there any discrepancy? If there is, some people must be responsible for it.
And they must be punished.
They should be punished. And may God not allow this to happen. If indeed the one that was gazetted is different from the one Mr. President signed, what happens? It only means that I don't want to use the word ridicule.
Embarrass the government.
I don't want to use that word.
Exactly. So
but those are your words anyway.
Exactly. It's really not. There should always be consequences for action, because when people,
and even in actions,
when people know that no, I don't want to be part of this, because if it boomerangs, I'm not only going to lose my job, I'm going to face prosecution. And you've been in the system for 30 years and you're about to retire, and you want to risk all that because of some, you know what I mean? So people will think twice. Because sometimes when things happen, people don't know the consequences of what it means when there is a presidential assent to something. And people, I'm not saying we are just discussing, we are not saying that's what happened. But assuming, there are times, remember the clemency thing that the president approved that time, that ended up embarrassing not only the president, but the government.
The nation.
The nation. That had to be withdrawn because some people were not clearly straightforward from beginning with the president because he wouldn't have agreed to some of those things.
Lawrence, I've told you about that governance is not a tea party.
It's vast.
And there are people who are ready to subvert you.
Exactly.
However laudable your aims or your actions are going to be, once it has a conflict with certain interests, you have to be ready to see how you are going to battle with those guys. You see, as low as in those days when I was in the union, I know what happens. People within our own president, our colleagues, what they do to you. Once you have a clear agenda to make people much more better, much more happier, there are some people that are going to constitute themselves into a cog in the wheel of progress. And that's exactly what the president should now find out. If it is true, allegedly, that the versions signed is quite different from the cases that I will have. Who are those responsible? And then they must face the consequences.
Publicly.
If, I use the word if, because I have not seen it. And as a journalist, that's why I'm extremely careful with my words. Once we can see it placed on the table, they will now know who and who are responsible for this. But if again they're also playing a mind game because of the political atmosphere and the reality about our people, that once you just get an information, people just fly with it without even cross-checking it, without even getting it if it is true, if it's against the will of progress. People don't understand. A lot of people are even on television, this tax law safe, this is also as what is the tax law all about?
Dr. Akinrunty,
so they don't know.
Sometimes we also need to take advantage of technology.
Yes, that's it.
Dr. Akinrunty, this controversy broke about 3 weeks ago when the gentleman from Sokoto raised that alarm in the House of Reps.
Yeah.
Mr. Salami and Dr. Akinrunty, 3 weeks is enough for us to put this
in proper
perspective. What does it take? Publish the clean version that was sent to the president from the National Assembly for his assent. Publish the assented version and publish the gazetted versions. Let everyone see. Let everyone see. Are there discrepancies? If there are, who caused it? Simple. These things I'm saying cannot take up to 24 hours if we want to do it. So why the delay?
Well, we need to. It's not for us here.
I know. I'm just asking a rhetorical question.
That's the reality of advocacy.
Because
when government is pushing out a policy, it's a tricky issue.
Because you know, sometimes when I see the chairman of the presidential committee, Mr. Ayodele, I pity that agenda because when you see him, he has been moving from one state. There's been a lot of work put into this policy over the years with policymakers. A lot of people who have sleepless nights put in this policy, and we want to destroy it because of just 1 or 2 slips, and we just want to waste it. No, that's not fair.
Lawrence, people resist change. You should understand what is going on. It's much more than the tax law. Politics has come in. Other vested interests are there. And of course, you know that some people, some cabal, they will always say, well, especially if a state is a satisfying state, and some people are now here to
rock the boat.
They will do, and of course, you know they are powerful. They are not just people, you and I. They are people of means.
But so we shouldn't just throw up our hands.
We shouldn't.
In frustration.
We shouldn't.
And allow
that is
them.
why government should come in, and there should be aggressive campaign and advocacy.
Absolutely.
on local languages.
In the language
And
people
to
understand.
the targeted audience.
Targeted audience.
Yes.
It's not about you applying on television.
No,
Really,
it's more than that.
You move along
No,
with the people.
you go
Where
to the
people
parks,
concentrating, you go to the churches,
To the
go
churches.
mosques,
Mhm.
to talk
Places
to
of
people.
to
worship.
the grassroots.
Town union meetings.
That, yes, explain some of these things to them in the language that they
They
understand.
understand.
That's it. If it's good, if
Not
it's in
English.
Abuja, break it down. Hausa, Igbo, Yoruba, local language of Bagi and all those sort of things.
Pidgin English.
Pidgin English and the rest.
Let them come to Citizen FM.
It's it.
All right.
You know, in about 10 languages.
Yeah.
We broadcast in about 10 languages.
That is it.
But we will not do it for free.
Yeah, of course. All right, gentlemen, let's leave that alone and come to some politics here now. The Punch newspaper has a story. 30 billion naira FG funds remains unused. Marking details, Fayose. I'm sure, gentlemen, you know the story. Oyo State government has explained why Governor Seyi Makinde did not publicly announce the receipt of 30 billion naira intervention fund from the federal government following the January 2024 Bodija explosion, stating that special intervention funds are subject to budgeting process and do not require announcement upon receipt. The explanation was contained in a statement issued on Thursday. Mr. Salam, let me start with Mr. Salami first.
Lawrence, you are old enough to have listened to Fela's Rofo fight. Actor. So you see, when you engage a pig in a mud fight, and intelligent, quote and unquote, intelligent pig this time around, you are in for a dirty. You see, when Fayose first said that so amount of money was released, the first response was that it wasn't so.
What is the proof?
It was in fact, initially it was not no money was released. Later it was 30 billion, not 50 billion as you claim. And when the man was saying that even with that 30 billion, it was 4 so billion that you disbursed, that they now said proof. What was the proof? And almost 5 days after that man brought that in, you know, I was telling you that even though I've seen this thing, but I still want, as a journalist, I will still wait for Governor Makinde's reaction. And now that he has told us that, that governor of Kano State during the Second Republic, Bakinsu, that it was government money and it was in government house.
Exactly.
So where would I have kept it with government money? He has told you that the 30,000 billion is intact. So Lawrence, it is intact. So let me just leave me out of this.
Dr. Akiriti.
Well, it's a political drama. And it will keep unfolding, as the days goes by. But you see, there are certain people you can't just joke with when it comes to political strategy. Leave it, take it or leave it. Fayose is one of those guys.
Yes.
He gives it to you at the right time. He serves you the right soup.
See what he did to Babu
And the right, and the right accomplishment with the soup. Now, the reality on ground is that Oyo State government is just trying to play with words after seeing that no, this thing has boomerang. That what is wrong in admitting? Yes, we have the money. Even at the first instance, we are working about disbursement. So what is wrong with that? Then allowing somebody to not give you all the proofs that you need to know. Everybody needs to know about it. Then you are now backtracking. That again subsumed to the issue of trust deficit in governance. And that's why leaders don't seem to understand that once you give doubt to the people about your performance, about your honor, about your integrity, it takes a lot for people to really believe in you, who you are. Look, if you are going to play this game of politics, I told you, and we are in for it.
Long haul.
Governance will come to the lowest ebb now from 2026 until the election time 2027, my brother. We're still going to see a lot of it coming up. What's important what matters with the people? The question Oyo State government should have asked, who who are the beneficiaries of these funds? Publish their names. How much you have paid so far? How much you have been kidding? Who are going to benefit later? Give people give them the reassurance, give them hope that this will happen. But because you have an ultimate fight, right, and you also have an ultimate ambition about what you're going to do, then you are not really thinking that, oh, I don't know that somewhere along the line, there are some people who are really working with you who also have the gravitas.
Of course.
To put you up, to put you where you belong at the appropriate time. And that's someone, you need to understand that someone like Fayose, even there's someone like Wicked, these two guys, look, they will take you to the cleaners when it matters most. So you need to get yourself ready for the task ahead of you, and to be also, just complain, just be truthful with the people. They just try to put you where you belong. Once you understand that this game, this political game, is a chess. Right, we're going to play this and to achieve our aim. But if self-interest, personal aggrandizement is taken away from it, and then it's about the people who won't get to where we are now. And so my sermon to the people, my plea rather to the people, to the political office, public office holders and leaderships, that look, they should think about the people first. The perks of office that they do have is enough for them. Let them ensure that the people understands, appreciates, and benefits from democracy.
All right, gentlemen, before we leave, you see, going through this drama, I was wondering, have we reduced governance to a relationship between two friends, or maybe people who have shops in Alaba market? 50 billion naira, okay, let's assume 30 billion naira is not a small money. How was this money transmitted to the state government? What were the processes? Is the House of Assembly aware? Is the Accountant General aware? Is the Commissioner of Finance aware? The government is saying, oh, it has to go through a budgetary process. When will it go through budgetary process? Monies that were disbursed in 2024. Up till now, it has not undergone budgetary process. You see, these are fundamental questions we need to ask ourselves, because this is just one case. A lot of things happen in government, and when you hear, you begin to wonder what happened in government, whether there are processes.
Lawrence, let me tell you, we have done business and we are still doing business with government. We know how long it takes us to get money. And that is even if we follow it. You know, from cash office to vote book, from vote book to audit, from audit to... So you see, the thing is this. There are many people involved in any fraud. Frauds don't just happen. People make it happen. Simply because chances are that they will not be caught. If you are sure that you will be caught, you will not be involved in it. It boils down to the same thing. Even if you are caught, you still settle. Impunity. When people know that there will be consequence for any action, they will sit tight. That's how I will leave it.
All right, okay, gentlemen, before we move to summarize, let's look at this, another from Oyo State. Now we move to Bauchi State. Wike, Bauchi Governor, lock horns over terrorism financing claims at the Bauchi State Governor, Bala Muhammad, and the Minister of Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike. And gentlemen, just a few years ago, they were the best of friends. At least before the election, I know that. Okay, they were on Thursday locked in war of words over allegation of terrorism financing leveled against the Bauchi governor. Appearing on TV, the governor alleged a political witch hunt by President Bola Tinubu, adding that Wike was behind the terrorism financing charges filed against him. There we go again, Mr. Salami. Sometimes I don't understand when people say it's a political witch hunt when there are allegations. If, for example, I am here and somebody says I have embezzled money belonging to Citizen FM, I'll say, okay, let's go to court. If I'm in charge of finances, I'll bring out my papers and my documents
to clear
my name first. If I clear my name and the court exonerates me, I can come around and sue you for defaming me. my defense should not be, oh, Mr. Salami does not like me in Citizen FM. That's why he's trying to get me out because I'm not from the same state with him. And no, we should learn that culture of what are the issues. Let's keep sentiments apart. We know that, yes, these are political times. We are likely to see a lot of this. But those issues, those narratives shouldn't really matter. They are worn-out narratives. Since the beginning of democracy, this is what we hear at the end of when people are charged to go, it's because I am no longer this. It's because the question is, are you guilty of what you are? If you are not, proof. Show. Let's start with you, Mr. Salam.
Well, you see, I'm not a lawyer, but I love lawyers, especially judges. They say substance and form. That the substantive law, when you are accused of something, the sensible thing is for you to bring out proofs that you are not guilty. And if you plead guilty, the next thing is allocutos, so that you don't waste the time of the court. But yeah, you will hear the story that it was because when we were in secondary school, I collected his girlfriend, and you see, to me, it's banal.
And we all lap onto it.
It's banal, and people always buy that.
The drama.
But unfortunately, this is the truth. Courts are courts of law, not courts of emotion or courts of politics. So, whoever is accused should be concerned about clearing his name. That is, if he has any anyway, and quite many of them don't. But the truth is that Nigerians should be more interested in the allegation, in the offenses as
preferred
against them, not necessarily about their
affiliation,
balderdash and banal defenses.
Dr. Kenriti.
Yeah, we're at it again. I know politicians will keep accusing themselves of one thing or the other. But the saddest aspect of it is the wrong narrative sent to the people and how the generality of people takes, different positions. And instead of that, they are not careful, they can start fighting themselves on issues ordinarily that doesn't concern them. They don't seem to understand well. Let the institutions work well. Once the institution works well,
exactly.
Everybody will sit tight. Everybody will know what he or she needs to do. I've listened to the narration of the governor of Bauchi State. I've also, listened to the reaction of Minister of FCT, Nyesom Wike. You see, I've told you what binds them together, what binds politicians together. It's about self-interest
at that particular
point in time. And once that interest seems not to have been managed very well, and then it turns around to a different things. Who is going to be what do you call it, the playing field? It's the people. The governors will suffer. People will not appreciate what democracy is all about, and then we're going to be distracted. Let's, in due course, the rule of law takes its course. That's my submission.
All right, gentlemen. You see, there was a time I was close to somebody in very big office high up there, and each time I go to visit him, for every document he signs, he has a copy and he sends it to somebody to keep, not his staff. Anything he signs, any agreement, anything. And one day I asked him, he said, Lawrence, you won't understand. Say, there will come a time I will no longer be in this office.
Yes.
And you see all these people around, they are capable of twisting things. So I am prepared. So that when it's time for me to defend myself, I will not rely on their own document to defend myself. And true to that, when the man left office because of politics too, he was also involved. And before you know it, he cleared his name up to the highest court. And he turned around to sue the institution, and they paid dearly for it. So it's not just, after all, gentlemen, you guys remember, I think 2012, 2013, the current president was taken to the Code of Conduct Tribunal.
Yeah.
I understand. I was covering judiciary that time. Heavens did not fall.
Yeah.
And the case went through and judgment was given, and he was exonerated. So sometimes I just get, I feel somehow when people want to use this time, it's one that is no longer in vogue again. Nigerians have seen beyond, except those who still want to play politics, who still want to, no, Mr. Salami used to call it collective ownership of thieves and everything. We don't want that again at the end of the day. If you have a case, face your case. And if you're afraid, you turn around for disparaging my name, I am going to take you to court. And the court will award damages. That's the way we should go. Gentlemen, before we go, this story I said we have to look at it. As journalists, 128 journalists killed worldwide in 25. A total of 128 journalists were killed around the world in 2025. More than half of them in the Middle East. The grim toll from 2024 is not just a statistics, it's a global red alert for our colleagues. And that's according to the General Secretary of, the Federation of Journalists, International Federation of Journalists. The group voiced particular alarm over the situation in Palestine and other countries. Mr. Salami and Dr. Akinrunty, we may not have that terrible situation we used to have about the media in Nigeria currently. I'm talking about during the military era and everything, what we used to go through. But it's still a concern for us because as media men, a harm to one is a harm to all. Media men face different kinds of challenges. Ours may not be outright violence killing. Ours may be frustration in trying to get our stories. Ours may be harassment from security agents and so many other things. So I just want us to look at it generally. This is a grim statistics, starting from the Dr. Akinrunty.
Yeah, obviously, because I say for a young leader, it's quite harrowing. Situation we have on our hands globally. And I normally tell our colleagues is that, look, these are part and parcel of the risks of the profession, of the hazards of the profession. But it can be minimal, you know. But reality of it is that once you decide to choose this job, you also need to understand some of the consequences. Then what are we going to do to avert those consequences? You know, times are changing for us to see how we can avert some of these, disturbance algorithms, happenings around us. But we, as human beings, we also need to feel for ourselves when certain things happen. Aside from those who are killed in Gaza, those who are covering, even there are some people legitimately they are doing something right, and they are still caught up, with death in the line of duty. And then even as, for example, our guys who died in Gombe.
Exactly.
It's something that we are grieving now. For them because they are our colleagues. Even our colleague
recently in Abuja, in Lugbe, was standing by the roadside waiting, and the car came in and
then they crushed him. So these are the realities. For me, death is a necessary end to come when it will come. But at the same time, we should also understand that these are part and parcel of the hazards of the profession. So our prayers is that we pray to God that to see how much of it can be averted. But if it happens,
Salami.
You see, in this business of minding other people's business, death is a partner.
All the time.
But the thing is this: there are quite some incidents of death that could be averted or avoided, just as the doctor said. What I frown against is state killing. That is the one I frown against. And again, even our colleagues too should be more careful. Should be more careful. I always tell my friends that there is a thin line between journalism and blackmail. Let me leave it at that.
I think for members of the media, they will understand what you're saying. There is a thin line, and we really need to be careful about what we do. It's not everything that we will see. But gentlemen, it's a great privilege to have this very solid team on the Newspaper Review today. Dr. Akinrunty, always a pleasure to have you on the show. Thank you so much for coming.
It's a pleasure.
And Mr. Salami, my Oga, always a pleasure to have you on the show.
Thank you.